Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. Well, hello, chickies. We're not going to be here late tonight, but let's kick it off. You make sure the audio is good. Drop your city and state in the chat. Make sure you can hear me. Let me know. Funding bundle. You can click that link right there. 4 classes. Oh, wait. Okay, that or might be messing up the link. I don't know. And then the land grab course. You can grab it right there. $97. Usually it's $4.97. We have 2 trainings, December 6th and December 20th. This is going to be a crazy whirlwind year coming up. So I'm telling you now, it's your best bet to grab some of the stuff we have offered now. This is probably the only way you're going to kind of hear me, see me after January for most of you, but it's all good. It's going to be exciting. We'll record stuff here and there. And I just wanted to let y'all know, like, it's a gangbusters year, okay, coming up. And I'm super excited. So you can check those links out on your own. Let's get into it because we ain't going to be here for long. And we always say that, but you know. The show is about fast money, investment money, slow money. We've talked about this 5 different ways this Sunday. And we always get data and people say, well, Erica, you know, people aren't making money. And I always ask, like, where did you get that information from? Who told you that? Something David Williams said today was really good. It's like, if you don't like that data, show me some data you do like, right? If I show y'all marriage stats, marriage license stats, if I show you people, over 3 million people every year still getting married. People aren't doing it, Erica. Like, listen, what data do you like? Because baby, it's about to get bumpy and it's about to get real. Now, there's a famous stat people love quoting and saying only 10% of the American population makes, $100,000 a year. That's not correct. We have some approximate data, but it's not official yet. Again, income threshold, $100,000 a year. Looks like we're at 24% of individuals. Percentage of households above 100,000, 36%. Now, all you can say, but what about the Black people? Again, I keep telling y'all, the data that we have people submitting, they're underreporting. I've been telling y'all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about go check Atlanta, shout out to Brandy out there, but I'm talking about check DC. I'm talking about check Los Angeles. I'm talking about check some of these major cities. Check New York City. There's teachers making $100K a year. Check Boston. Check parts of Ohio. Right? Check Texas. There are oil rigger guys making 150. But if I tell y'all that, you go like, Erica, there's just nobody making that. The average Black man making 2 pennies. We already showed you that's not true. We already showed you BLS data. Oh, Erica, I don't trust that data. Well, what data do you trust? That's the best thing I heard David Williams say today. Like, show me what data do you trust? Because your data of you and your 5 friends are going to be like you. I've had the blessings in life to be able to keep moving around, one as a military kid, and second as an adult, getting different jobs, living in different cities, and meeting people who made more than me, sometimes made less than me. I'd be at tables with everybody's making 150. I roommated with girls who one girl was making 195,000, the other girl was making 172. Well, she was 56, but then she got up to 172. And they worked for companies right there in Austin. So when people tell you this is fantastical, magical, it never happened, it doesn't exist, it's unicorn talk. It's not unicorn talk. You just don't know anybody with money. And that's okay. Because we've talked about on this channel and other places, how do you get in spaces where people have money? How do you talk to people who have money? How do you find people in these corporate jobs? Because the other show yesterday, someone was saying they're trying to talk to their cousin about getting better work and he just want to work at food service. Some people have mentally capped themselves at food service. That's all. They've mentally said, you know what, I'm going to be here. This is where I'm going to be. I don't want to go interview for harder jobs. I don't want to have a learning curve. I don't want to struggle. I don't want to think too hard on it. So that's where they stay. 150,000 a year. Individuals, 13% of individuals in the United States. 13%. 150,000, 25% of households. So 1 in 4 households. When you put the wife and husband money together, 1 in 4 is 150,000. Now let's even go there on another level. Some of y'all living with grandma and grandma live with mama, and they help raising the kids together. And they still at 150. Y'all don't want to hear that though. Y'all ain't ready to hear that. Some people in there living with their mamas, and the household numbers get this high. It's up to them what they do with it. Now that's why I showed y'all the other day about the budgeting. The reason I brought up the cop thing is there are a lot of cops working overtime, making that money. But if you talk to people out here, oh, they're just poor farmers and poor cops. Y'all, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. That's what someone's told you. It's real unfortunate because that just is not, that's not accurate data at all. Just cut it out. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this other thing up. Let's see if I got it. Man, do I have it? Dang on it. But yeah, in the meantime, I just wanted to address that. I want y'all to look at that chart. Let me see if I can play a little bit of what he's saying, and then I'm gonna let it rock.
And 15% of households for 250K, it's about 3 to 4% of households, and it's for individuals. Sorry, 3.5 to 4% for individuals, and 9% for households. For 300,000 a year, it's about 6 to 7% of households, and 2 to 2.5% of individuals. And for 500,000 plus, is about 1% of individuals and about 2 to 2.5% of households. So that kind of provides some context. What I consider the middle class are households that make anywhere from, if you live in a really low cost living place, maybe the bottom of that would be 100,000 and the higher end would be about $300,000 per year. And so that puts it about, depending on what metric you use and what your floor is anywhere from about 15 to 35% of American households are in the true middle class, as I like to call it, not the one that politicians like to think, just the 25th to 75th percentile, but the 5th to 35th percentile are really what is the middle class in the United States. And if you want to have that upper middle class lifestyle in a low cost of living place, you're going to need to be in about the top 15% of American incomes. In a medium cost of living place, your family is going to have to be in the top 10% of incomes. And if you want it in a highly expensive place, your family income is going to have to be in the top 2 to 2.5% of incomes. Is this harder than it was in the 1990s? Definitely it is. We have a problem in our society where it's a lot easier to get by now because the floor wage has gone up and certain social factors have just made it easier to stay afloat as a single person. But it is harder now to get to this upper middle class level that I'm talking about. And therefore, the motivation to achieve to get there, given the big delta between relatively how comfortable it is to get a basic standard of living and how difficult it is to get to the upper middle class level, is causing a lot of people to get discouraged. But the point being for this video is that if I want to get to that upper middle class level, what?
Okay. So here again, I'm so used to 150, I forgot that that's 24%. Yeah. In my area, police officers make 162 without overtime. Okay, now if they add overtime, they're easily at the 100K. Easily. People on the internet act like 100K is regular. I wouldn't say regular. I would say depending on your craft, right? We have a lot of young people crying online about things, but at the end of the day, like these numbers, like my friends who are dentists. I have a friend who's a chiropractor. I have an associate who is a eye doctor, dentist, chiropractor. A lot of engineers that associate with. And when they see these numbers, like if they, I'm just gonna say this, if some of them had to make 100K, they probably jump off the roof. I'm not even being funny. Like I remember sitting at dinner and I was talking about how I had these phone calls with people that make 30K, and my friend was like, "Well, how do they even live?" He literally looked me dead in the eyeballs, y'all. He was like, "How do they live?" Because he was doing temp work at $57 an hour, temp work, and he was waiting to get this different office job. And so what you have is, when I say there's like 5 different Americas, there's like 5 different Americas, y'all. And for people to think that they're middle class making 45,000 a year is comical to me. Right? There was a guy saying it's normal to be paycheck to paycheck. And it was like the saddest thing he could say. And that's why I showed y'all the budget thing yesterday, because I wanted y'all to see how many people are on these budget apps and they're making money. And it's like they're basically to their neck in debt. That's what they are. They're to their neck in debt. And then they're like, well, look, I'm budgeting. And you're like, if you ever need a break, you can't take one. If anything goes wrong with your family, you were not okay. So I'm going to show this a couple different slides, and then I'm going to just get onto the, the white chart of truth and justice. Let's start. God, there's so many. Let's start here, right here. We're gonna start here because I'm talking about fast money, slow money, and we're gonna break down Robert Kiyosaki chart.
Do a little 3, 4, 5. Do one contract. One contract. Get your clearance. Get your security clearance. Get all your certifications. When you're in there, go to community college. Yeah, use the TA, tuition assistance. Use that. Go to community college. Get some little gen ed stuff done. So that way, later down the line, when it's time to go to university, all the gen ed stuff, then you can just handle the meat. That's what I did. It's a cheat code. It's the easy. Military is a cheat code. If you don't come from a lot of money, you're not a nepo baby. You're not Jack and Jill. You're not a frat legacy with sorority legacy. Like if you coming out the mud, join the military, you're gonna have the same credibility, I promise you, as the Jack and Jills, as the frat legacy when it comes to applying. Companies need to hire you. It's a tax break for them. It makes them look good to the shareholders that, look, we're hiring veterans. Yes. Why do you think when you fill out a job application, it asks you if you're a veteran? They get money for that. They get credit for that. And it makes the shareholders happy. It makes Wall Street happy. Yeah. The military is a cheat code. You get now when you join, you get access to the VA home loan, 0 down, so automatically you have wealth. Automatically. You're wealthy. You buy even a $200,000 house. That house in 20 years is gonna be $400,000. You're buying wealth. You see what I'm saying? Like the military is a cheat code. Oh my gosh, I'm scared to go to war with it. Look, listen to me. I've been deployed 2 times. It ain't that bad. I mean, it ain't for everybody. But like, if you got a little bit of grit, a little bit of resilience, it's for you. You'll be okay. You'll do it. It'll be all right. You know what I mean? You're away from family. Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. If something happens, they'll Red Cross you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. My son was born when I was deployed. You know what they did? I flew from the Middle East back to Atlanta. I saw my son. I mean, I went right back. I mean, I just say it. And then now I'm set up. Home loans, duh. $1 million house, 0 down. I did that. Yeah, of course. And then don't get me started when it comes to the VA. The VA, they take care of you. Yeah. Not everybody deserves, claims, because a lot of people do some crazy shit to get claims. But if you actually deserve it, that's money for life. It don't go away. No matter what your rating is, 30, 20, whatever, 50, 90, 100, that's free. That's money. And then your family's set up. When you at 100, your family's set up. Because now your wife can go to school. She can go to medical school, whatever. Not pay a dime. Huh? Yeah, I'm dead serious. It's a cheat code. If you don't come from a lot of money, it's a cheat code. Now it's like remember back in the day we used to play PS2. We used to play Grand Theft Auto. We used to write down the cheat codes. Military. I'm not a recruiter. I'm not telling you to join. I ain't got this ain't DOD related. I'm telling you what worked. It works. I'm dead serious. If you're eligible, why not? You know what I'm saying? You want to know the cheat code in America?
Okay, I just had to share that one. Here's another one. Where's the other one? Here we go. My bad. Let me go here. This, you know who this is, y'all.
And they said, Kevin, go down and become a caddy at Tedesco Country Club. You're going to meet wealthy people, very wealthy people. Do that for a couple weeks, then come back. So I went down there and I caddied for these wealthy people. And I listened to them talk to one another. I saw how they walked. And after about 2 weeks, I went back to my mentor. We called it an uncle. And if it was a woman, it was an aunt. I went to my uncle. He was a man. And he said, okay, you started hanging around all these super wealthy people. What did you notice? I said, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't understand how they're successful. They seem like they're not very intelligent. They just seem completely normal. They don't seem any different at all. And he says, that's exactly right. There's really no difference between an unsuccessful person and a successful person. The big difference is there are blocks on the unsuccessful person. Even if the unsuccessful person does everything right that he learns in all the success books and follows the formula for success, he still won't succeed because there are energetic blocks. And I go, wait a minute, you're over my head here. I don't understand what energetic blocks. It sounds like witchcraft. Look, if I go to the gym and pump iron and watch my weight, my muscles are going to grow. I mean, there's no energetic block there. So if I do something to make money, if I start a business and do the proper things, I'm clearly going to be successful. And he says, really? Does it work that way in real life? Look at all the companies that start and go bankrupt. Are they all idiots? Are they all stupid? All the investors, are they dumb? They went to Harvard. They're educated. They invest in this. It's a restaurant. It's a florist. It's a business idea. And so many of them fail. The majority of them fail. Why do you think that is? And then somebody else, everything he starts works. He says there are energetic blocks. And I learned there are 33, interestingly enough, there are 33 degrees in Freemasonry. There are 33 particular energetic blocks. And he says,
now I'm gonna stop. Y'all know I love some Kevin Trudeau. Can't hold a good man down. A manifest teacher who built a $25 million empire. He already got the ebook. How? Listen, look at Kevin, y'all.
people that are poor have all these.
Somebody done told him, hey, Dad, listen, you just get on this computer, man, and you can run it back up again. I had a family member get smart me tomorrow. What you doing? Running your mouth today? I said, baby, running my mouth to millions, baby. Running my mouth to millions. Okay. Kevin Trudeau out. Listen, they made sure Kevin Trudeau got locked up. When he started telling y'all, hey man, if you pay $100, they can't foreclose on your house and these cars. Boy, them people was like, get them out of here. Lock them up. Trade crew. Anyway, here's y'all be complaining about the immigrants, but let me show you what the Canadians is doing. Let me show you what the Canadians are doing in America. Let's see.
Without a job offer or $1 million. Hey, I'm Lauren. I'm Canadian and I moved to Florida through the E2 visa program after buying a small business. A few years ago, I was in Vancouver feeling stuck. Long winters, slow healthcare, and high taxes. So I started looking for options and I found out that Canadians can legally move to the US by buying a small business and actively running it. So that's what we did. We bought a small yacht repair company in West Palm Beach and moved down with our 2 dogs. We had no family here, no network, no friends, and we figured it out step by step. It was stressful and exciting at the same time, but it honestly completely changed our lives. Follow for more real info from someone who actually did it and check the link in my bio for free resources if you are curious about the E2 visa path. This is how I moved my family from Canada to the US without a job offer or $1 million. Hey, I'm Lauren.
All right, now y'all can go check out Lauren's Landed. Okay, Canada, USA. Okay. Now all these people love telling you, I'm leaving the United States. I'm leaving. Okay. And then she even talks about that, what's going on with that healthcare. Trust me, they drive across the border to get that healthcare, baby, in America. In America. Listen, I don't have to convince y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the thing. People come to America not to come work your raggedy job, but to own the business that pays your nephews, your cousins, your family members. They own in the tow car companies. They own in the gas stations. They're owning those things because they'll show up every day because that's how they got that visa to get here.
As a Canadian who moved down to the US after purchasing a small business, I keep getting questions like this, asking where to find businesses for sale. So I'm going to teach you where to start. Let's dig in. So navigate to bizbuysell.com, and then you can search the location that you're interested in buying the business. For this example, I'll choose North Carolina. You can also search for specific cities. Then it's going to give you a list of businesses for sale in North Carolina. We're going to filter down further. You can also filter by industry, which I won't do for this video. We're going to navigate to the price range and filter down to businesses for sale under $150,000. Feel free to choose whatever price range you want. Next, let's go to revenue and choose 200,000. We don't really want businesses for sale that have revenue under 200K. Then we're going to go to cash flow and EBITDA, which is essentially the profit of the business. We're going to choose businesses that have a profit of over $100,000. Then it's going to give a list of businesses that match our search criteria. We can scroll down and take a look. There's a lot of home service businesses for sale, painting, siding, etc. A long list. There's a few hundred options here, which is great. Let's dig into one and see what we find here. The top business looks like a siding business, home improvement. So
I'm gonna pause it there. Go watch the girl's page. I ain't gonna jack her the whole time. I just want y'all to understand like the difference in y'all up here like, oh, I don't want to start a business here because that's hard. And these people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to America to what? Buy a business, do something. This is another one. I'm gonna show y'all this one. Again, what's your biggest financial flex? Texas Tech Edition. All right, hope y'all ready for this.
I bought my mom the crib. How old are you? I'm 22.
I spent my whole life in a gated community.
I got about 20 grand in my Clash Royale account.
My parents own like 10,000 acres of ranching land. Technically, they made more money than Jerry Jones in oil. I went on a Mediterranean cruise, 5K a night, probably like a $200,000 trip.
I own a ranch, 150 acres, gonna lease it out to hunters throughout the year. I have a 600-acre ranch.
What's the price tag?
$4 million. It's my Malibu M230 Lake Austin. I'm on that thing every single day.
What's the price tag?
It's like 300. It's worth every penny. I'm Travis Scott.
What's the price tag?
It's from Vanderbilt, so like $20. My daughter's college fund is paid for. She's 7 years old. I put in at 529. The money I saved on DoorDash. It's everyday thing.
I got my tickets for Taylor Swift off TikTok. I was in the pit.
Biggest financial flex is flying Southwest everywhere I go.
Why do you like Southwest?
So cheap, save money, less delays. I pay for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't really spend a lot of money. I put it into stocks and bonds.
Raising money for scholarships across the great state of Texas. Over $2.1 million. That makes it worth. They couldn't afford to go to college. They can go to college.
I drink Busch Light instead of Coors Light. What's your biggest financial flex?
My mom bought me a house. I've settled over.
Okay, listen. Everybody's broke though. You know, y'all just you guys just keep everybody's broke, man. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody has any money, Erica. What are you talking about? Like, everybody is just out here struggling. Oh, wait. Let me show you private equity real quick. Remember those hockey games, those soccer games? I was telling you guys about, you know, how sports is they're just making money off your kids because parents want to get that NLI money. Well, private equity's over there too.
Legal. That's right. Wall Street is working on prohibiting filming your kids at sporting events. This is reporting by The Lever, quote, Black Bear Sports Group, an emerging youth hockey empire and the largest owner-operator of hockey rinks in the country, is among the private equity-backed companies that are amassing a chokehold on recording and streaming youth sports. At Black Bear-owned ice rinks, parents cannot record, post, or live stream their kids' hockey games online. Per official company policy, according to staff at those venues, some rink attendants said that they will confiscate attendees' recording devices if they find them. Confiscating phones, banning parents from filming their kids playing sports. Like, what are we doing here, America? Well, evidently, Black Bear is trying to get parents to buy their streaming service that costs between $25 to $50 a month just to watch their kids play sports. Just out of comparison, Netflix is like $17.99 a month, okay? Now, Black Bear Sports Group, the company that's buying up all the local sporting facilities, is owned by a private equity firm called Blackstreet Capital. The CEO is this guy named Murray Gunty, and he used to also work at Blackstone Group. You know, the company that's buying up all the houses and killing the American dream. Yeah, that one. Somebody wrote this in a recent review saying that Black Bear Sports Group is a business that, quote, acts like they care about youth sports. Every rink they buy up to add to their monopoly ends up neglected and run down. They're driving the price of youth hockey way up while rinks are breaking down. Not sure what they're improving with all the money they're stealing from players' families. People ask me all the time, what does evil look like? And I would say it's guys like Murray Gunty, people that you've never even heard of, but are doing everything they can to just line their pockets while at the same time destroying humanity.
Okay, a little bit of, Black Rock segment. Here we go. Let's also do here. This is also another military couple right here. The husband getting out of military early. You know why? Because he got that internet money. But no, everybody's broke. Everybody's broke. There's no money out here, Erica. What are you talking about? Let me play this too as well for y'all. Your favorite person. Your favorite person, Dave Ramsey.
A family who's sending their child to the University of Tennessee in-state will pay all in. This is how much you're going to pay. $157,000. I'm going to show you all of the things that you could do for your child if you reclaim that educational spend. This is a 3-month all-in language immersion program that includes housing, room and board, and daily lessons. Your child will come out of this program fully speaking Spanish. $5,000. Muay Thai in Phuket, Thailand will have your child fully competent in self-defense, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, $9,000 for 6 months. Room, board, food, everything. Private music instructor, 3 times a week for 1 hour, $8,000 to $12,000. Your child could learn any instrument and be proficient doing this much in 1 year. 20-week cybersecurity boot camp with a job guarantee, entry-level job guarantee, $13,950, 20 weeks to get through. Let's total it up. Let's just be really extravagant too. Let's add in $15,000 worth of flights, even though it's not going to cost that much even to get all those places. $55,000 to get your child an entry-level job in an in-demand industry, speaking another language fully, proficiently, ready in self-defense and knowing how to protect themselves, defend themselves, having a good nutritional background, good understanding of training and self-discipline, and fully equipped to actually play a musical instrument and or sing and or do whatever. Giving your child an art, you've given them health, you've given them an actual job, and you've given them a language. And you've done that in 1 year. And it's cost you 1/3 of the price. Take back control of your educational spend. Everything I just explained to you, all of those programs we found for kids in the launch program. And that's because the slightest amount of planning can prevent you from wasting this much money and that much time on something that your child doesn't need to do at all.
Go to the University of Tennessee if you live in Tennessee.
Let me see. I got one more, and then I'm going to show you the whiteboard of truth and justice and get on out of here. Let me get here.
There are some people in this world who will buy a USB cable to charge a phone, then modify that shit, then return it to whoever they bought it from, and they'll put that shit back on the shelf. And then when you buy it, you plug it up, now all of a sudden your phone is bricked. Now you can't turn on your phone. Now you got the Hello Kitty, Rainbow Kitty flying across your screen. It gets worse! Some of y'all were saying, oh, this is surface level stuff, bro. I guarantee you, the average Joe, the average person don't know shit about cybersecurity. I literally had someone pretend to be my boss to trick me into getting some fucking gift cards. There's levels to this shit. Because first off, who the fuck are you? And second off, how the fuck do you know who my boss is? And when you go in public, don't use the public Wi-Fi because someone is more than likely looking at your fucking traffic. And trust me, if you know somebody who has a flipper zero, do not trust them with your personal information.
They probably already have it.
There's a reason why the flipper zero is banned in some countries. With the right tools, you can literally start somebody's car from a distance. You can unlock their car from a distance. And don't let them get close to you. They probably tapped every credit card in your wallet. Which is why y'all gotta understand why this cybersecurity stuff is dangerous. AI is just one more step. It's only gonna get worse. Y'all thought what I told y'all about that 16-year-old hacker was bad?
It gets worse.
There are some people in this world who will buy a USB cable to charge a phone, then modify that shit, then return.
I'm sorry. This is Josh Tech. Y'all can go check out Josh Tech. There's so many things I would love to talk to y'all and show y'all about. But you're like, Erica, what does this have to do with fast money, slow money? Okay, let's get into it. For y'all boo me in here. All right, let's get into it. Let's wrap this up. All right. So you may not know from these terrible squiggly lines, you may be uncertain who is this and what is this? This is Rich Dad Poor Dad, the classic throwback chart. And let's get into it, right? Because you're trying to figure out, number one thing I see people say, well, if you're making so much money, why are you selling courses and content and coaching and all this other stuff? And I want y'all to understand the concept of fast money, slow money, investment money. And a lot of these people are like, you see TV actors. Why are they still acting on TV? They should be somewhere sitting down. Fast money, slow money, intellectual money. But let's go Dave Ramsey first here. Okay. This on the left-hand side is a poor person. Man, they got a job. They got, I put salary there just to give you an option, but they got a job. They paying rent, taxes, food, transportation, clothes. It has never made sense to me that I see people shopping, clothes. And I'm like, what are all these clothes? Where are y'all going? What are you doing? Are these for jobs? Are these for opportunities? No, just getting more clothes to get clothes. Okay. Second one is the middle class here, right? Middle class get liabilities they think makes them rich. Which again, salary, expenses, taxes, rent, transportation, food, clothes, mortgage, car loans, their liabilities, credit cards, student loans, right? Money all going out. But over here, you know how they're going to give you the rich dad, poor dad spill. This person's going to have real estate, stocks, bonds, notes, intellectual property, digital property. That is their income. If you ever look at a 1040A, you can ask Miss Brandy, or 1040 Easy. If you look at there, it'll have multiple spots for you to put down income. Okay. Interest, dividends, royalty, farm income, all kind of stuff is on there. Right. And so when we hear this, the year I got my house, I didn't buy any clothes. Yeah. I'd be looking at people like, I get it. I get people who want to do retail therapy, but it's like, for what? Where are you going in them clothes? A lot of times they ain't going nowhere. Let me go over here and slide this over. So we all know this. We've all seen this multiple times. Now let's break it down. Let's break it down a little bit more. I'm just putting it in different ways so you guys can see it. Okay. So job, high paying job. We showed you yesterday the police officer making $9,960 a month. What was the problem? If y'all were here, if you were here at the last show, what is the problem I said was wrong with the officer's spending? Does anybody remember? I can try to pull it back up, but what do y'all remember me saying was wrong with the officer's spending? Anybody? Let me know if anybody remembers what I said was wrong with the officer's spending. Anybody, put it in the comments. Let me see it. If anybody remembers what was wrong with the officer's spending, and I can pull them back up. Let's go here. Let's pull them back up for the sake of the conversation.
As a state trooper living in Texas, $9,800 just landed in my account. Let's see how it all breaks down. Bills first, $2,600 for my rent, $320 for utilities, then the internet, my phone bill, and all my streaming subscriptions. Now my living expenses, $950 for groceries and eating out, $380 for gas, $600 for bar.
Oh, it's freezing up on me, y'all. Hold on a second.
As a state trooper living in Texas, $9,800 just landed in my account. Let's see how it all breaks down. Bills first, $2,600 for my rent, $320 for utilities, then the internet, my phone bill, and all my streaming subscriptions. Now my living expenses, $950 for groceries and eating out, $380 for gas, $600 for bars and basketball tickets, $170 for my gym membership, and close to $500 on skincare, spa treatments, and cosmetic upkeep. Now the debts, $610 for my car payment, plus $400 for my credit cards. Finally, the savings, $1,100 into stocks and crypto, $500 towards my retirement fund, plus some money set aside for vacations and family support. Now that my budget is set, I log every expense throughout the month, and the spreadsheet automatically does all the calculations for me. And yes, before you ask, this template is completely free. Just comment budget and I'll send you the link. It's the end of the month. And as a state trooper living in...
Okay, I hope everybody saw that. There's about $2,600 going. I mean, he had $1,100 going to his investments. He had $950 for eating out and groceries. He had $600 for bars and basketball. You got season tickets, maybe. I don't know. I'm just crazy. Every month, $500 was like gym. Another $610 was his car lease. So part of my whole point of even showing this, and we're just using him as an example, but there's like 10 other people on this page that have the same, like they're living to the top of the budget. Okay. So if we go back, oops, I didn't mean to go that far. Let me go back.
It's the end of the month. And as a
Go
state
budget
trooper
buddy
living in
here.
Texas,
We can go through like 10 of these people. And there's all the same. It's all the
It's
same.
the end of the month. And as a couple working as police officers in California,
They got $19,400 coming in. I'm gonna leave it alone.
$9,700 just.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Now you're gonna say, well, Erica, these people make good money. They should be able to eat out. They should be able to go bars. They should be able to go do all this stuff they want to do. Why are you being a hater?
It's the end of the month, and as a brain surgeon.
No. That's not what we're doing here. Let me go back over to the chart so that I can make it clear. These people have high paying jobs, almost 10K a month, but they can't save in 2 months $4,000 and then buy a rental. Why? Why can't they save $4,000 each month? They're making so much money. They can't save any though. Because people be like, well, I deserve this. I deserve that. Investing was the issue. Most people are living as if they won't be around in the future. They live into the top. Okay. Now, my whole thing on this chart is most people say, Erica, that's unreasonable. Turn that hallway light back on. God, dope. Okay, so right here, 500 for skincare and cosmetic keep up. His self-care is top tier. Yeah, I got questions on that, but he in Houston, not Atlanta, so I'm gonna leave it alone. So if you go here, this person, this is where we have this conversation where if you have a high paying job like this, can you save $1,000 every month for a year and put it in dividend stock so that you at the end of the year can take a $12,000 secure stock loan at the end of the year, use it to buy a rental. This is a very, the fastest way would be like, hey, I'm gonna cut everything for 2 months and stack it all up. But because people literally get themselves up to the eyeballs in debt and payments and things they need to keep paying on every 2 minutes, if they don't pay on it, Erica, my credit's gonna be messed up if I don't pay on it. They can't do it. So you have to get them down to a number that's like almost reasonable. Well, can you save $500 a month? Can you save $1,000 a month? So this whole mantra that no one in America is making any money and everybody's broke and everybody's struggling and everybody's suffering, that's just not true. Again, we showed it and I'll show it again because more people came in late. Again, this is the screen right here. This is the approximate numbers for this year. 24% of individuals, 1 in almost 1 in 5 or 1 in 4. I'm a slide by and say 1 in 4 is making this. Households, 36% of households are making this over this. So now you want to get real lean, get down here to 300,000. 2% of individuals make that. Baby, that's my bracket. But anyway, 6.6% of households make that. Okay. 250,000, 10% of households. So, most people say, well, Erica, what about black people? What about black people? Baby, there's a ton of black people up north in the West Coast and East Coast that make this kind of money. And every time we show it, well, but what about my cousin Pookie and them who've been on crack since the 90s and ain't doing nothing? We don't care. We're not one big monolith. That's why I'm saving the next show that's like Black Wealth show, because people they believe the 5 people they know is reality. It's not. So let's say we're going to slide all over into the Robert Kiyosaki, slide more to the right? We're going to be on the second column here. Side business, right? What's included in this? Business income, digital products, books, ebooks, consulting calls, group coaching. You could do 10K to 30K a month here. The key about business and side business is you can turn it up or down. Depending on what type of business it is, you could spend more ad spend. You could do more products, more services, more calls. You can turn it up or turn it down. Then you invest that money over time into Fundrise, dividends, and land. Right? So you're still going to build it up because people say, well, I would own a business, but you can't save no money owning a business. Who said that? Where did you get that mindset from? All right. Let's go over here to the third column, business, land flipping. I'm just choosing ones that are easy for me to give you to relate. So you call or mail over 10,000 people in a month. Let's just say, just for sake of numbers, 20% of them are going to be closing over the next 30 to 90 days. The deal, we could say over 6 months, but we'll be nice. 30 to 90 days. The profit per deal is going to be 10K to 30K. If you get 10K out of 20 deals, that's 200,000. You get 30K out of 20 deals, that's 600,000 for the year. The problem with many land flipping people is they've become such a and wholesalers, they become so sales dominant, they don't think about saving. They don't at all. Or they'll just keep flipping until. That's why a lot of wholesalers now have turned to building real estate at the last minute, right? Build to rent, or they build duplexes, or they keep a couple rentals for themselves because they kept flipping in hopes of finding the next deal, and that doesn't always come that way. Okay, here's the last one over here. New construction. Let's say I buy 3 lots. I build one at a time. I sell for 100 to 250,000 in profit, right? This could be a very luxury house, or this could be a duplex. If I just do 4 of those a year, that's 400,000 to 1 million a year. So what happens? People get stuck over here. They get stuck on this job side of the quadrant. They spend to the last dime. They payment themselves out. They got 15 different Affirm accounts going. There's no room for thinking, just constantly working. And that's where people, oh, America's so expensive. America's so tough. It's so hard living here. And then you start asking questions, just basic questions. And a lot of people don't want you to do that, because asking questions makes them think about, well, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Just look at these different people. I'm gonna click on a few of them just so you can kind of get an idea, right? Get an idea.
It's the end of the month, and as a police officer living in California, $8,900 just landed in my account. Let's see how it all breaks down. Bills first. $2,500 for my rent, $310 for utilities, then the internet, my phone bill, and all my streaming subscriptions. Next, my variable expenses, $900 for groceries and Christmas dinner, $380 for gas, $290 for my gym membership and self-care, $600 for a Christmas tree and house decoration, and close to $1,200 for the gifts for my friends and family. Now the debts.
Sir, you don't have no kids. Anyway, let me keep going.
$110 for my car payment, plus $390 for my credit cards. Finally, the savings, $1,000 into stocks and crypto, $800 towards my retirement fund, and $550 set aside for New Year's. Now that my budget
that man has $150 left to spend after Christmas is setting aside money aside for. I'm gonna show you another one. You're like, you're judging people. I'm just gonna show you another one. I'm gonna show you another one. Let me pick. I think this one. This is a good one too.
Budget my paycheck with me as a 24-year-old software engineer living in California. This month I got paid $14,248. Let's see how it all breaks down. Bills first. $3,400 for my rent, $290 for utilities, then the internet, my phone bill, and all my streaming subscriptions. Now my living expenses, $900 for groceries and eating out, $600 for the occasional Uber, $350 for bars and football tickets, $190 for my gym membership, close to $400 for skincare spa treatments and cosmetic upkeep. Now the debts, $610 for my car payment, plus $200 for my student loans. Finally, the savings, $3,000 into stocks and crypto, $1,000 towards my retirement fund, plus some money set aside for vacations and family support. Now that my budget is set, I log every expense.
I love how everybody sets a little side for their mama. That's actually very sweet. Okay. I'm judging all of them. Are you for real? You better get real. As a single man, okay? So listen, this is just examples, okay? These are just examples. The whole point of doing this whole show is I want you to understand there's fast money, slow money. And what are these people doing? These people are working. These are good jobs, but what they also doing are UGC content creation. So what are they going to do? They can make more videos or they can make less videos, right? This is what they're signing up to do. Make these content videos. Okay. And that's what? A way for them to what? Make money, make affiliate marketing money. Okay. So I just want to go over this. I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, what the difference is on slow money, fast money, and why a lot of people feel like they can't get ahead in this economy. And it's because they don't have anything to set aside. They don't. If I talk to them about putting $25 in a fundraiser, they're like, "Oh my God, $25." If I talk about putting $25 into, Prosper, any of these things I've talked about over years, you will have people gritting their teeth. Well, Erica, everybody can't save that money, and that's a mental block. That's an energy block, right? That's an energy block. Right now, I'm gonna show you this lady. She's in Virginia Beach. I ain't trying to be funny. She sells like 70 houses a year. I want you to know, when you get to a certain level as a real estate agent, the only way that you can have consistent money is if you have flips or you own rentals. You can go look at her story now. They've been filming her at certain angles. Yes, she got the Miami, job, but it is what it is. Okay, that's what she want to do with her body and her time. That's what she can do. But here we go. Let me see if not this one. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here you go. Here you go.
Right? They are currently, they're making their commission money and things like that, but they want to get into flipping. Give them 3 pieces of advice. You could probably give them 100, but what's three quick tips for them?
So first of all, when you start in real estate and you start making those commission checks, do not blow them. Like, be smart about your money. You want to get to a point where your money is making you more money. You're not getting paid to just go blow your money in a bag, in a pair of shoes. That's not going to take you anywhere. Another piece of advice would be that just like we are in life, we need to learn how to crawl before we learn how to walk, before we can run. So I see a lot of investors that are getting into, this industry wanting to flip 20 houses at the same time when they have zero experience. And that's when they start like getting into their own pockets and losing money into these houses. So I took it very slowly myself. I started and I did 4 my first year, 8 the second year, 12, and now I'm at 18 this year. So I feel like people need to learn fully and understand what they're doing before they can start scaling their business. That way you can guarantee that you're protecting your money and your investment. And then once you start making good money with your investments and your flips, you need to start using that money and get rentals, because taxes are going to be insane. So when you're making all this profit from a house, you also have to budget for the amount of taxes that you're going to have to pay. So be smart, get some rentals. I know it sucks to tie up, $40,000, $30,000 into buying a house, but you teach a lot about creative financing. But definitely get some rentals so that you can have those write-offs and you're not just giving away all your profit from your flips to the IRS.
Perfect. Okay. Why did I want to show her? Let's do some simple math. Let's say her average flip is 45,000 in Virginia, which she has a couple videos. You can watch it. If she flips 15 this year with average profit around 45,000, that's $678,000 a year. I just want y'all to understand, like all the realtors I know that continue to make it. And she's only been in realtor for 4 years now. The ones that continue to make it, it's not just because they're cute online. Right? They do a combination of stuff, right? They do a combination of stuff. Apparently get surgeries is one of them, but that's not the problem. We're not being a hater. Do what you do, sis. Make it work for you. Treat yourself. But you can go watch it. I mean, I just want you to understand that's a part when people say, "Oh, I'm a realtor," and they don't own any rentals, they don't own any investments, they've never flipped anything, never bought anything. I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. That doesn't make sense. Especially when you're surrounded by property every day and opportunities every day. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So listen, I'm gonna get on out of here. The key of me showing you this is you're gonna hear me talk more and more about real estate and also about people buying businesses and why are people doing that? Because it's literally they're trying to figure out with all intensity right now, how do we get out of, I would say, the rat race, as they would call it, that Robert Kiyosaki talks about. Because a lot of people are like, Erica, I'm paying more and more money every year on my insurance, and they haven't gone to the dentist or the doctor or the nothing for 4 or 5 years. I'm like, well, do you get your money back? No. So when I say, well, why are you paying insurance right now? You might need to save that money. People are like, Erica, you're advocating for people to be uninsured. You're a terrible person. I'm like, no, I'm just saying, do you guys need to save some money? That's all I'm asking. Are you trying to save some money? Do you need to save some? Because guess what? There's laws on the books. They got to take your child to go get the appointments. You got to pay out of pocket either way. You know what I'm saying? There's countless videos where people are paying $200, $300 for something that would have cost their insurance $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. They can't overcharge you if you ain't got it. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. They can't overcharge you if you ain't got it. I'm not advocating for people to be uninsured, but I'm advocating for people to do basic math in their head and analyze their life, because a lot of people want to become upper class. And I'm just going to be honest with you. The only way you're going to become upper class is if you are having investments or your income gets above this number. That's just simple as that. Now, many of you are going to say, well, Erica, I'm a teacher. I'm a this, I'm a that. My income's never going to be this high. That's fine. But guess how you do get there? Investments, flipping properties, buying a piece of land in the middle of nowhere, building on it, taking your time. All these things add up. So that's what I have for you guys today. Again, it's Black Friday still. You guys can grab any of the courses content. Again, the spring is going to be a very beautiful, blessed spring. I'm going to be excited. I don't know what y'all doing, but I know what I'm doing. So you can grab the land grab bundle for $97 instead of $497. You grab the funding bundle. Okay. You can also grab Middleman to Millions. If you're inside those school groups or inside that, that's where the training is going to be. And you guys have a great evening. It's your girl Erica. Bye. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance, and guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done, and that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.